Greetings, Patriots. We are going to review for equations and inequalities. This is your reteach session. You were invited personally to a reteach session. This is only for those of you who were not able to attend. You can watch this video and we will review 4 problems in the front, and it is going to be your responsibility to complete the independent problems on the back of this sheet of paper. Make sure you show your work and you attend a tutorial session with your math teacher so that you are able to be administered a retest. So please make sure that you guys attend so that you re-engage with the concepts that you were missing so that you do a better job. All right, let's get started on problem number 1. So remember, when we are solving our equations, that it is imperative that you first move all your variables to either the left or the right side of your equal sign, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and start off by moving my 2x. I'm going to make that a negative 2x because I know that forms a 0 pair. I must make sure that I move what happens to the one side of the equation. I must do the same on the other side. So make sure you keep your like terms together. And 2x goes with 5x. So 5 minus 2, if I subtract the coefficients, I get 3 times the number minus 8 equals 16. So I moved all my letters, right, my variables, I moved them to the left side of my equation. So that means I got to move all my constants or my numbers now. I have to move all the numbers to the right, okay? So I'm going to do the opposite of subtraction, and in this case, that's plus 8. The inverse of minus 8 would be positive 8, and what I do to one side, I do to the other side of the equation. So this gives me 0 pairs, and 3 times some number equals 24. Well, if I divide by, my final step is to solve for x. X has to equal 8. Okay, so if I were to graph 8 on a number line, that would be somewhere to the right of 0, and 8 is my solution. Let's go ahead and look at problem number 2. I'm looking at Nemo and I'm looking at Dory. So I want to know if they both plan to save the same amount of money. Nemo is starting with $60 and plans to save $10 each week. And Dory has $30 and plans to save $20 each week. So I need to write an equation to determine the x, the number of weeks. There you go. That's where your x is. That it'll take Nemo and Dory to have the same amount of money. So if x represents the number of weeks, I know wherever I see the word weeks is going to be my variable. $10 each week. There's my 10x. Plans to save $20 each week. There is my variable of x, my multiplier. So let's go ahead and solve. Nemo is started off with $60, right? And Nemo started off with $60 and is saving $10 each week. So that means that is a positive thing going into Nemo's bank account. And then Dory, on the other hand, started with $30 and is saving a little bit more than Nemo at $20 each week. So what we're going to do is, remember, we got to move all our variables to one side. I'm going to go ahead and start off by moving my 10x. Since it's my smaller coefficient, I got to subtract 10x because I need a 0 pair here, but what I do to one side, I do to the other side. So keeping your like terms the same, 20 minus 10 is 10x. I go ahead and bring everything down that's left on the left side. And now that I moved all my variables to the right side, I got to move all my constants or my numbers to the left side. So I have a positive 30. The only way I can move that is by making that a 0 pair. What I do to one side, I do to the other side. And I end up with 10x equals 30. And my final step is to divide by 10 on both sides, since I want to know how many weeks it's going to take for both of them to have the same amount of money. And x is equal to 3 weeks. Okay, now let's do a little bit of inequalities. Same idea, the only thing that's going to change is we're not dealing with an equation, we're dealing with a comparison here. Okay, so let's think about the following situation. Cranky's Crazy Carnival costs $14 a person for admission and parking's free. Frankie's Fancy Festival is costing $8 per person for admission and $42 for parking. Whoa, they are steep on the parking. How many tickets must be bought for Cranky? So I'm going to compare Cranky. For Cranky, to be more than, so cranky needs to be more than Frankie. If you need to use your symbol vocabulary for those keywords, feel free to do that. Okay, so crazy carnival is only going to cost me $14 per person. So 14 for every single ticket. And that has to be greater than Frankie's. And Frankie is charging me $8 per ticket per person, plus that $42 of parking. So I need to solve this inequality. So once again, same steps. I got to move all my letters over. These are my like terms. So I'm going to start off by moving the 8x over here because I can't move the 14x or else I'm not balanced. So what I do to one side, I do to the other. And that leaves me with 6x greater than 42. My final step here is to divide by 6 on both sides. So this inequality says x has to be greater than 7. So it says how many tickets must be bought for Cranky to be more than Frankie? Well, according to my inequality, the tickets that I buy, I have to buy more than 7 tickets. For Cranky to cost more than Frankie's carnival. All I did was go back and answer the question, okay? All right, final one. Here we're looking at 2 gyms, and all you need to do is identify the correct inequality. Goals Gym is introducing 2 membership plans. The first plan that Goals is talking about is going to charge $25 per month plus a $10 enrollment fee. The second plan that they're looking at is $20 a month and a $30 enrollment fee. So which of the following inequalities must be used to determine the number of months, so I'm looking at those number of months as my variable, during which the second plan, so we want to know when the second plan is going to be less expensive. So my second has to be less expensive than my first. And I'm going to go ahead and write it in that order, where my second plan is less expensive than the first plan. So let's go ahead and see. Second plan. Well, I know they're charging 20 per month. So there's my 20x plus my enrollment fee. And I want to know when that's going to be less than the $25 per month plus the $10 enrollment fee. Okay? So again, if I look at my choices, Ms. King always talks about chancla answers. A cannot be an option because there's subtraction going on. C cannot be an option because there's subtraction going on. So I need to find which one is correct, which one has the second plan, which is 20x plus 30. Here's my second plan, and here's my second plan. Well, I need to know when the second plan is less than the first plan. So it looks to me like D has to be my winner, okay? Because here it has the first plan being less than the second plan. So therefore, letter D is correct. Remember, we talk about you need to write it and then read the inequality that matches. Okay, your responsibility is to work on the independent practice. If you are struggling, it is imperative that you come to a tutorial session with any math teacher and get assistance and get your independent done before you just take a retest. Please let me remind you, it is week 8 and our grades are due next week. So we really need this to happen as soon as possible. Have a great day, Patriots.